This is part 2! Yay! We're going to talk about the West. I know everyone's going to be like, what the heck? What happened to the part 1 video? Oh my goodness, what happened in the part 1 video? I covered every Eastern Conference team and I talked about them as much as I could. And I was like, yeah, bro, this team didn't meet my expectations. And I'm not going to lie, I did that for mostly just playoff teams. Because, yeah. That's why. Oh, the Thunder. The Thunder have exceeded my expectations. I said at the beginning of this season that they would be lucky enough to win 55 games. I did not see them being like, yeah, we won 68 games last year. I told you that they weren't going to win that many games, and I said they're probably going to be the number 1 seed. But I don't think that the gap between them and the rest of its conference is going to be as big as it was in the previous years. So, God, I don't know how to tell you this, but who saw 64 wins? Who saw that? Wasn't me. I didn't see them winning almost 80% of their games. I didn't. I'm sorry. I thought they still played in the Western Conference. Oh, they do. They're like that. Could you have, if anyone told you at the beginning of the season, yeah, Shea is going to miss some time, Jalen Williams is going to miss some time, Chet is going to miss some time, like everyone on this team is basically going to miss some time, like in like exuberant amounts. And they're going to still be the number 1 seed in the West, and it's not even going to be close. What would you have said in that moment? Yeah, I would have said the same thing, bro. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I am surprised. They are amazing. If Dagnall wins Coach of the Year, yeah, I get it, buddy. You deserved it. You're a smart guy. Yeah, this team is amazing. It's not even close. They're fucking amazing. They have thoroughly exceeded expectations. I don't think anyone expected them to be this good. And if you did, you're lying. And I know people are going to be like, they started out the season nuclear hot. You're not going to talk about how they cooled off? They cooled off from being the best team of all time to being, like, statistically, the best team of all time to being, I don't know, a 64-1 team. Oh no. They stumbled a little bit when they were missing their players. Oh god. Oh no. They'd already had so many wins from when they had their players that it didn't matter. Oh god, wow. I guess they thoroughly underperformed, guys. Can you believe it? Anyway, San Antonio Spurs! If you said that the Spurs would be a 60-win team, you're either crazy, me, or a liar. You might be all both. All three. I'm not lying about this, though. I did not know that I thought the Spurs could be really good. I thought the Spurs could be the second best team in the conference. I did not think the Spurs would be the second best team in the conference or result in 60 wins. The reason I didn't believe this is because what the fuck do you mean it resulted in 60 wins? It's 60 plus wins, by the way, and I didn't think that they would be this close to catching the Oklahoma City Thunder, considering how they started the season. That's actually insane. The month of January that they went on, hell, the month of February they went on, the month of March that they went on. Oh, not as impressive as the previous two, but the month of January and February, the way they were whipping out wins like that was disgusting. I don't even know what to say. Let's talk about the Nuggets. To say that the Nuggets have been really good in spite of all the injuries is an understatement. The fact that they have been this good with Nikola Jokic missing time. Jamal Murray is probably the only one that really didn't miss that much time. Aaron Gordon missed time. The core just missed time. No Michael Porter Jr. No, you got Cam Johnson now, and he's been underperforming. The fact that this team has been like this good is another shout out to David Adelman and the coaching staff over there. They have been amazing. I'm super surprised that they have been this good. I just did not. I didn't know. I didn't know they would be this good, man. Don't worry, I'll talk about that later. I don't want how the Los Angeles Lakers ended their season to affect how motherfuckers viewed this team in a more negative way than it has to be. For a multitude of reasons. One, the Lakers have been thoroughly impressive. They have been. They've had times of missing AR, they've had times of missing Luka and all that. The fact that they've won this many games is really impressive. It's a very similar situation to what I have to say about the Nuggets. But the thing about this team is they are much more heliocentric than the other team. So when their guys go down, they rely on one guy a lot. and I thought that would lead to injuries. It eventually did, obviously, but with all the usage and stuff like that. By the way, I think people are underestimating the amount of the stress is would probably cause his hamstring injury more than minutes played, weight, and all that stuff. Like, those are not the factors. I think stress is what caused the hamstring injury. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough in medical science. But that's something that I've been looking into. It's something that someone brought up to my attention when I watched the video, and I thought about it and I documented it, and I tried to follow it down the rabbit hole as much as I can. It might be it's more likely a stress injury than a usage thing. His usage rate has remained around the same, and we have never seen him have a hamstring injury like this. And also, his usage rate should be lower than it's been in previous years, especially considering his Mavs years. But yeah, that's a stress injury most likely. Every team is looking forward to facing the Lakers in the first round, but that should not deter you and talk about how this team has been this entire season. That's not with who they are. Rockets. All right. So, beginning of the season, the Rockets played the Thunder incredibly tough. They were one of the toughest teams that they played. And I did say at the beginning of the season that, yeah, there are 2 overtime games for the Thunder going out of the season. And one of them is the Houston Rockets. I also knew to myself, deep down inside, that the Rockets are fraudulent. They would not be a top 4 team in the league. They would not have home court. I knew they wouldn't have home court. And I know you're saying to yourself, how did you know they wouldn't have home court when considering they played the champions so well on the night where they got the rings? And how did you know that would continue to be like that? And how did you know that they would eventually slip out of the standings? And how did you know they wouldn't be the 2nd seed and 3rd seed? And how did you know that they would fall like this? How did I know? Their offense is boo-boo. The fact that they've won 51 games is actually an indictment to the rest of the league on how confusing it must be to play this team every single night, because you do not know the version of them that you're going to get. They are one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. Their offense is really, really questionable at times. Their defense is really, really, really questionable at times. And that's the thing that should be consistent about this team. So I have no idea what to say about this team other than this team is confusing. I've never seen a team win 50 games and me think, just when I see them in the postseason, whoever they match up against, it's going to be mid. It's not going to work. It'll be easy. And the only reason I have to walk that statement back is because they're playing the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round. No Luka, no Austin Reeves. No Luka, no Austin Reeves. By the way, the All-NBA MVP season ruined by the 65-game rule. I do not like that shit at all. I hate it. I hate it so much. I've been a big proponent of it the entire year. It feels like every single video I talk about it. I hate it. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It never made sense. Everyone knew that the pace that they play the game at, and the movement and torque and changes of direction that they play the game with was going to lead to injuries. 65 games was an unrealistic expectation, and the fact that there's no clause in it for injury just is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It makes no goddamn sense. Because we all wanted stars to play games. We all thought load management was stupid. The reason it needed to be in the game in the first place, and also let's stop acting like you make your fucking money. You don't make your fucking money. You do not make your fucking money off of the back of the ticket sales. We know this because the Wizards are still a profitable organization with the lowest attendance in the league. Do we understand this? Y'all perform actual acts of socialism in this league to make sure that every single team is profitable. We know this. We know this. You make most of your money off of the TV deals and revenue. We know this. Stop playing in my face. The 65-game rule is stupid. It's stupid. Telling athletes, yeah, bro, we need you to play more games. Brother, most of these guys that are getting injured are having usage rates that are higher than any player that in the 90s had, bro. They're making more moves and changes directions than any player has ever made before. The pace was this high in the 80s. The injuries were not this high in the 80s. You want to know why? Because the way they moved with that pace was different. This 65-game rule is stupid. Let's talk about another victim of the 65-game rule. Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm so serious when I say this. I was thinking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and when I was doing my predictions early in the season, I forgot about this team. You know why I forgot about this team despite the fact that they've been in 2 Western Conference Finals? Because I was looking over. I'm like, I don't know how much more Ant can do. I do not know how much more Ant can improve as a player for this team to work. And if there's any amount of injuries, it's going to be tough. And would you look at that? And you know what sucks for this team even more? They could not get the version of Nickeil Alexander-Walker that is currently leading the Atlanta Hawks. If they got that version of them, oh my God, this team would have been incredibly tough. By the way, Nickeil, MIP, not really a discussion either. It's not even just shots too. Like, he's just a much better player, and it might be it's lightning in the bottle. I don't know, but losing him, it sucks. It sucks a lot. The Phoenix Suns, they have thoroughly exceeded expectations. Who saw them? Who saw this team that everyone was pecking to be the worst team in the fucking league? By the way, the expectations for this team and how they've exceeded it is at a similar rate to the San Antonio Spurs exceeding it. So think about that. The Spurs were a 62 team, or a 62 win team. These guys have exceeded expectations at a similar degree as the Phoenix Suns. That's how bad everyone was expecting and pegging the Phoenix Suns to be. We thought the Phoenix Suns were for sure going to be a team that did not make the play-in. They're the 7th seed. And to be honest, they're not as far behind as a lot of people thought they would be. And I'm not going to lie, when you play them in the first round, yeah, they're going to be a tough out. They've played the Thunder incredibly tough this season. They played a lot of these Western Conference teams incredibly tough this season, dog. I don't know what to tell you. They are not to be fucked with, toyed with. Jordan Ott has been doing an amazing job. By the way, shout out another former Cavs coach, bro. I mean, are we the new Spurs, bro? We got everybody coming out. You know, Bickerstaff playing out in Detroit. I mean, and that's no offense to kind of women our ass, but like, you know, we got Jordan Ott over there, man. We got a little tree going out. Okay, Portland Trailblazers. Did I see them being a playing team? No, but did I also see a fucking gambling addict as being their coach in Chauncey Billups? No, I didn't think that he was doing that. By the way, you notice how we have heard nothing about the litigation from that case ever since that moment happened? Bro, Terry Rozier was just waived by the Miami Heat. They did not talk about that. Clearly, that's not the thing that they're worried about. It's not. But when gambling companies tell them that tanking is an issue, that's a problem, bro. God forbid. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this team too much because they have my least, I think my actual most hated player of all time in Deni Avdija on the team. I want to explain why. At first I was like, why aren't they giving him like time to play? And I'm actually glad his career was stunted by Russell Westbrook's development. Russell Westbrook on the Washington Wizards, dog. I am glad that he did not get to become who he is on the Wizards. Deni Avdija. Anyway, let's talk about the Clippers. The Clippers have exceeded expectations because of two reasons. Well, so I thought this would be a play-in team. Yes, I thought they would be a play-in team. I thought, and I know you're gonna crucify me for this, I thought they were the better team in Los Angeles. I'm sorry. I didn't think they would start the season off that bad. I'm sorry. But did you see them turn it around? Hey, did you see them turn it around? Yeah, they were looking bad. And that was with the guys healthy. That was with no Darius Garland yet. That was with James Harden. That was with Ivica Zubac. That was with no Benedict Mathurin. They have seamlessly integrated those players perfectly. I don't even know what to tell you. That was worked out a lot better than I thought. Kawhi has had an All-NBA first caliber season. I think he'll actually be an All-NBA caliber first season. If we're talking about strictly value, this guy should be in the MVP discussions. But again, if we're talking about strictly value, I mean, CJ McCollum should also be in MVP discussions, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, the narratives are a big factor of that, and these guys don't have those. Also winning too, so yeah. Who saw these teams being like this? I didn't see that. That's kind of crazy. The Warriors. Why are they even a playing team? Yo, guys, Jimmy and Steph have missed a lot of times in the season. You think you should just tank instead? It's kind of late to tank with, the fact that we don't have, the guy. We don't have Jimmy. You lost Jimmy like really early in the season. Why didn't you just go to tanking like immediately? We still had Steph. We thought we had a chance. Okay, so now you're another play-in team again. So like, what's? And not a high play-in team. Y'all are like the same situation y'all were in last year, where you're like a low play-in team, like lowest man on the ladder, bro. Like y'all have your foot on the bottom ladder, but y'all not even like close enough to get the rungs yet. I don't know what the point of this is. Expectations. I thought this team would be mid. I thought it'd be a higher play-in team. I didn't think the Clippers the Trailblazers and the Suns be in front of them, but I also didn't think that Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry would basically have injuries like this. So yeah. Tough, really tough, very, very tough. Pelicans don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You guys think that you shouldn't be tanking and you don't have your pick. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Glad you got Derek Queen. I'm glad that's working out for you, but like it's not really working out to the degree that it needs to. Zion needs to be traded. Grizzlies, same story. Mavericks, same story, but even worse. I mean, the Grizzlies at least got value out of Jared Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane, but like the Mavs got nothing out of AD. So there's that. At least you got Cooper. That's nice. The Sacramento Kings, dog, y'all are not tanking. Y'all didn't know y'all were tanking. You still stink. And then the team that's actually, and y'all tied with the Utah Jazz. They are intentionally trying to lose. How are you this bad? They're tied with them. How is it possible? I don't know. I have no knowledge. It's confusing. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how the Sacramento Kings are in. Sorry, my bad. The Sacramento Queens and the Washington Warlocks are going band for band with a team that's actually trying to lose. Doesn't make sense. I don't know. Shout out to Utah Jazz. They're tanking successfully. Ace Bailey has shown to be much better recently. What I've seen out of Lauri Markkanen and what I've seen out of the lines of Jared Jackson Jr. from that, yeah. This team is going to be a problem. The amount of 7-footers they have on the team that are actually going to be usable. Fucking Walker Kessler. Oh my God. Kyle. This team is about to be disgusting. It's about to be weird. Utah could find... I'm so serious when I say this. Utah gets a generational pick in this draft. They could find themselves in a situation where they're knocking on the doors of the Suns, where the Suns are right now. They're knocking on the doors where the Timberwolves are right now. Right now. Being a low playoff team and nobody else's job is secure, bro. It's tough. Yeah, with all that being said, peace, congratulations. I gotta answer some like business calls and stuff like that. But like, yeah, bye. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, help.